mutual fund advisor or the fund manager will be there, who will be diversifying that money into equity and debt markets. And there are these four important people who are associated with mutual funds: sponsor, trustee, AMC, and custodian. Okay, sponsor is the person who will take the headache of opening up the mutual fund, and the trustee will be the person who will uh, keep a watch on how the processing of mutual fund is happening, whether the money is being utilized properly, whether the money is being well diversified, or whether any negligence is there from the part of the AMC when it will be created. Is there any negligence or any loss which has been created by the which has been caused by the AMC has been transferred over to the customers? Although all those mismanagement should not happen, that's the role of the trustee to take care. Then asset management company, it is the company which will take care of investing and diversifying the mutual funds, and they will hold the assets, and the those assets will be divided among the all the mutual fund holders. They will be called as the unit holders, and they every day they will get a NAV, or the net asset value of their funds, and the custodian is the person who will keep their mutual funds or their investments safe. Okay. Then we dealt with the functions, how convenient it is, how lower risk, expert management, and economies of scale. And this is what the structure was of a mutual fund. Then in lecture 2, we dealt with the types of mutual fund. Based on the structure, there were two types: open-ended and close-ended. Open-ended schemes are those schemes wherein a mutual fund investor can enter any time and exit any time. Okay, there is no such restrictions. And close-ended schemes where those schemes where mutual fund investor can invest at once. Okay, but he cannot exit at any time. There will be certain exit. What do you say? Maybe there will be a certain time frame that after only completion of that time they can exit from the mutual fund. Okay, the mutual fund, the company will buy the mutual fund from there, or else these closed-ended schemes, mutual fund investor, they need to sell their mutual fund in the secondary market. Interval scheme is a kind of a modified version of closed-ended scheme. In this, the mutual fund investor can invest at one time, and there will be certain intervals, like 3 months, 4 months, 1 year, like that. There will be certain intervals wherein the investor can sell the shares and can come out to the company itself. Okay, then there were types of mutual fund on the basis of nature. There were aggressive growth funds. Okay, those type of mutual fund when the investment will be in certain industries or certain sectors where the risk is very high, but the growth is also very high. So this is the type of investments where the more investment will be done in the equity market, and that too in risky stocks. Okay. Oh, okay. ठीक है. Okay. And then growth fund, little lesser than this. Okay, not so risky, but fairly growing stock. Diversified, they will be diversified into different sectors, and in the equity market as well as in the debt market also, they will be buying some this instruments, debt instruments also. Okay, then a specialty mutual fund in which sector funds were there. If I'm interested as a mutual fund investor to invest in a certain sectors, that is, I'm interested in more in automobile and pharmaceutical and maybe tourism industry, then I will be Then I'll advise my mutual. Then I'll tell my mutual fund advisor that invest my funds or invest my money in certain sector specific funds. Or else, if I'm interested in foreign securities, I'll instruct him to invest only in the foreign companies. Or if I'm interested in putting my money into mid cap or small cap, then I'll select. I'll tell him I cannot select the companies, but I'll tell him that invest in the companies who are mid capitalization, small capitalization range. Okay. In last lecture we have discussed which are these companies. Okay, whose market capitalization is less than 5,000 crores. Okay. Then value fund was there. The mutual fund advisor will ask the investor whether I can invest in value fund. That is, these kind of companies who these companies are not well known in the market, but they have potential to grow, and their market value is very low. But as per our calculation, we are getting the value of that company is pretty high. So we will be interested in investing in that company because that company is getting cheap, selling cheap. Okay, for example, there is a maybe there is a there can be a shop wherein I'm searching a shop. In a market, and in the market there is one shop who is at a better location, but that shop owner is quoting me lesser price, so I'll immediately buy that shop because it is at a lesser price. If that shop price is pretty average or high, then I'll search for another shop also. So I'll go on checking which kind of companies is trading low than they should trade. Okay, so jiska market price is very low, so I'll fetch those companies whose potential is high but market price is low. Okay, then equity or dividend funds, dividend yield funds, in which I'll select those kind of companies who give regular dividend or their capital appreciation is stable and high. Okay, not high, but at least stable. Slowly the share market prices growing of those companies. Okay, there is no much fluctuations or there is no downtrend in that company. Slowly the market price of that company is growing. Okay, so that is called as stable capital appreciation, or the company is giving a good dividend at the end of the year. Okay, per share rupees 15 or 20 rupees they are giving as a dividend. Okay. So these kind of companies will be there. And about the debt funds, okay, debt funds are the government funds or the certificate of deposits, commercial papers, short-term funds, liquid funds. Okay, all the debt market instruments. And the last one was balance funds. Balance funds mean there will be a balance of equity and debt in fairly equal amount, not exactly 50-50, but kind of equal amount, because balance funds are created in order to save the investor from the downtrend of the market and protect the investor from the what do you say, a sudden uptrend also. Okay, so that investor will not be in loss, not be in a profit. It will kind of a break-even fund, you can say. Okay, so this is what we have done in the prior 2 lectures of mutual fund. Okay, a fast forward revision, but any doubts in any of the previous 2 lectures? Because we'll move to another topic in this in this unit. This is pretty big unit. Okay, I'll require 2 more lectures to complete this. Okay, so no doubt, I'll move forward. Okay, few parts of mutual fund itself is remaining. The performance of mutual fund, how we need to check. Second. So performance of mutual fund, how we need to check is these 3 methods, which you will be studying in IM, I guess. So Trenner ratio, you don't have any numericals on this, and Trenner ratio, Sharpe ratio, and Jensen ratio. Okay, so in Trenner ratio, it will tell what is the return. Okay, this RP stands for the return of the fund, and RF stands for the risk-free return, and this is the beta. Okay, I'll just explain one line. RP is the you have invested some amount, and what is the return which you are getting on that amount. If you have invested 100 rupees and at the end of the month your 100 rupees has become 120, so 20 rupees is your return. Okay, like that return will be calculated of your entire portfolio. Then minus the risk-free return. The risk-free return is the return in which there is no risk at all. That means you are investing in certain securities. Okay, that will never go bad. For example, if you are investing in government securities, okay, government cannot default. Okay, it is assumed like that. So government will not run away anywhere. Government will not default. It will be there. Okay, so there will be a no default risk. Credit risk might be there, but there will be no default risk from the government side. So the return from that investing in that securities will be risk-free. Okay, so if the risk-free rate, if I'm investing 100 rupees in the government security and I'm getting 103, that means that 3 rupees is my risk-free return. Okay, मतलब confirm है कि मेरे को पैसा आएगा. Okay, so that is the return which this represents, RF. Okay, and RP represents my return in the mutual fund. Okay, if I've invested 100 rupees in the mutual fund, and then I'm at the end of the month or maybe a quarter, I'm getting 120 rupees from that. So 20 rupees is my risk, this portfolio return. Okay, sorry, the fund, yeah, portfolio return also you can say, return on the fund. So this minus the beta. Beta is the fluctuating factor or the risk volatility factor, or what do you say? Yeah, it is kind of a how your fund is related to stock market. Okay, that means suppose stock market is going 1% up. So if stock market is going 1% up, how is the performance of your fund? Whether your fund is also going 1% up, then it is very much related to the stock market. If stock market is going 1% up and your fund is going 2% up, then your beta is very high. That means 1% ऊपर जा रहा है stock market, so my fund is going 2% up. उल्टा भी हो सकता है. If stock market is going 1% up, my fund, my mutual fund is not at all moving. It is at 0%. Or else it is decreasing. If stock market is going 1% up, my fund is decreasing. Then my beta is negative. Okay. Or else my stock market is going down, but still my fund is going up. So that is very excellent fund. Okay. So like that, beta will be. We don't have any calculation related to beta. Just remember that beta is the kind of a volatility factor. Okay. So this is how we calculate Trainer ratio. Similarly, we'll calculate the Sharpe ratio. This is sigma, which I have studied in statistics. It is the, what do you say, standard deviation of the fund. Okay. From the mean, how much is the deviation that we will use in the Sharpe ratio. This RP and RF is same, what is there in the Trainer ratio. Okay, these two are not that used practically in the finance field. Jensen ratio is what you will be doing much calculation, and this is what has been practically used as of now. So RF plus beta into RM minus RF. Okay, favorite formula. Then the alpha we will calculate. Alpha is also what do you say? It is also a risk factor. This is, you have studied unsystematic and systematic risk. You must understand this. Okay, alpha is the systematic risk factor. Just maximum performance of mutual fund can come in exam, and you can write this formula and explain what these means and how it is used to calculate. That's it. You need to write. Okay, Jensen ratio is also only RM is the new term here. Okay, RP is your portfolio return is equal to RF, risk-free rate plus beta. RM minus RF. RM is the market risk. Okay, if I invest in the total market, okay, for example, I'm investing in index itself. मतलब I'm not buying any company, Infosys, Tata, ऐसा कुछ नहीं buy कर रहा हूँ. I'm directly going and buying Sensex itself in the futures market. Okay, Sensex या Nifty को ही खरीद रहा हूँ. Okay, so in that case, if I'm investing like that in the market, so what is the market risk? Okay, market risk premium. So that is this RM represents. Rest everything is similar. Okay, so this is the performance of mutual fund. If my fund is performing, whether good or bad, we can check it from these three ratios. There are many other ratios, but which they are not used at all. Jensen ratio is the ratio which is used by most of the companies. Okay, so any any doubts? I'll not have anything in this. Okay, I'll just brush with this also. SEBI's regulation of mutual fund. In this, how a mutual fund will be created and what are the regulations as per the SEBI. Okay, that is there in this. A trust deed will be created. Okay, that will be registered under the Registration Act, in which everyone will be mentioned. Who is the sponsor, who is the AMC, the custodian, and the trustee. Okay, so contents of the trust deed will contain what are the rights and obligations of each and every.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, Divya is waiting, sir.
ठीक है. I guess network problem by people. Because in this, we have kept auto admin. That means automatically the person will get added. Sometimes because of network issue, they might not get added. Let's see. As of now, she's not there. She's not requesting also. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so in the SEBI regulation, everything, this is very theoretical, but it will be mentioned everything. That is, a trust deed will be made by the sponsor, trustee, custodian, and the AMC, and the contents will be mentioned. What are the rights and liabilities of each of the person, and how a trustee can be disqualified. Okay, how a trustee can be disqualified, then rights and approval of the board of appointment of the trustee. Okay, the trustee will not be a single person. Definitely, there will be at least 4 people who will be acting as a trustee for that mutual fund, or there will be a company. That company will be acting as a trustee. Okay, so trustee will be a separate entity, and AMC, the asset management company, will be a separate entity. There will be not, there will be, what do you say, mixture of people should not happen. If even if it is happening, then asset management company will not contain more than 50% of the trustees. Okay, then there will be a conflict of interest. Okay, conflict of interest means. Say if 4 people are participating in a competition and one of the person is the judge in that competition, so definitely there will be a he will select himself as the winner. So that should not that should not happen. So asset management company and trustee will be totally different people. So rights and obligation of the trustee is also mentioned. Okay, so basically he will take care of the mutual fund, what do you say, the transactions, and whether the asset management company is doing utilizing the funds properly of the customers, or whether the funds is being utilized for some another purpose and not for investing in the mutual funds. So this all things the trustee will take care. And then asset management company will be appointed, and this company will have a certain, what do you say, ability to invest. They should have a good they should have people who have good knowledge about finance and investing, and they should use the funds properly, and okay, and they should be fair and good in their transactions. Okay. And certain terms and conditions are there, and procedures where approval is not granted. Anything which is not abide by the above procedures, then the AMC will not be granted, or trustee will be removed or disqualified or something like that. If the procedure is not followed, then something like that will be done. Okay, and restriction on business activities of asset management company, and these asset management company cannot enter into some another business, okay, apart from mutual fund and related to fund, okay, venture capital fund or pension funds. They should only be in this. Okay, AMC cannot open a hotel or cannot go into some another business. Okay, there will be only nor AMC cannot open up a bank also. Okay, then in that name itself. So AMC will be a separate entity. That's why you will find different names for all these things. Like in Universal Bank, in the second module we have discussed, there will be a Universal Bank. That Universal Bank will have a division of mutual fund. They will have a division of this pension fund. They will have a division of securities, demat and trading account also, and they will have a division of commercial bank. They will have a division of investment bank. So all these things, the division, as in these companies, will be separated. The money cannot be mixed up. Okay? So there are restrictions on business activity, and there are rights and obligations for these asset management companies there. And finally, the custodians. I'm going this very fast because there's not much to explain in this, and it is very theoretical. It will be a kind of a boring way. Okay, so appointment and agreement with custodian. And I have written 14. There are many actually if you go from on the SEBI website. But from the exam point of view, look, even if it comes for 7 marks, you don't need to write all the 14. You can just write 7 also. First 7 or any 7, whichever you remember, and explain in 2 or 3 lines. That will be enough. Okay, yeah. And the custodians, the custodian should be again a separate entity. Okay, These custodians cannot be a mixture of asset management and trustee or sponsor or something like that. That custodian will be a separate entity, and their role is only to safeguard the investments, and safeguard the, sorry, not the investment, the mutual fund. Okay, nothing else. So this is what, this is where we complete our mutual funds. Okay, now we'll come to this pretty interesting one, depository system. Okay, now listen carefully. Okay, now listen carefully. Everyone is attentive. ठीक है, देखते हैं. Okay, depository system. Okay, this was made in somewhere in 1995 and 1996. It was established. But the idea of depository system came into existence in 1991 itself, when we were having the economic shift. Okay, what do you say? That liberalization, socialization, privatization in 1991. During that time, the idea of depository system came into existence because the initially how the share market was. Initially, how the share market was, it was a kind of a room wherein only brokers were allowed to trade, and only brokers will come to know what is the price, correct price of any company, and they will just inform the client that we have sold or we have bought this company at this rate, and this will be brokerage charge. So client had to rely on the broker itself for the price of the stock. Client will never come to know what was the actual price of the stock inside the room where only brokers were allowed. So there was no transparency between the broker and the client. So because of that, many foreign investors were reluctant to enter into Indian stock market. So that's the reason. After 1991, this entire system from paper and pen became online. Okay, a trading platform was created, an online platform was created for trading, in which client can directly see what is the share price. It was not well received by the brokers because it was their business, so they were having loss. So there was a huge, what do you say, kind of protest or some, not on the streets, but there was a kind of reluctancy from the brokers' point of view that we will go with the pen and paper itself. Okay, because of the lack of transparency, this was done by the then finance minister. Okay, so I'll just explain you how the process would happen. Okay, so suppose this is the room. Okay, and in this room, there will be a certain kind of a table. Okay, a trading desk, and there will be brokers standing everywhere. Okay, so all these brokers used to hold a share certificate. Okay, and a share certificate, and they used to shout whether they want to sell or buy certain stocks. Okay, and whenever this broker wants to sell something, this broker wants to buy something, so then they will meet, and then they will show the certificate as a proof, and then they will do the transaction, and both of these person will come out, and here the client will be standing of this broker, and here another client will be standing of this broker, and they will these brokers will inform these clients that we have sold some share or bought some share on your behalf, and this is our brokerage charge. Okay, so and there will be a share certificate in which the name of the client will be written, how many shares, which company's shares, when he has bought, at what price he has bought. Everything will be written in this. And then this client needs to approach the stock exchange and then hand over this certificate to this person. Okay, suppose there are 10 shares in this and he is buying 5 shares, then the 10 will be striked off and it will be written 5, and a new certificate will be given to him in which there will be 5 shares, and another certificate will be given to him of 5 shares. It is like 10 rupee note. Okay, it was like a 10 rupee note, and 5 and 5 rupee note they have split. So he will have 5 rupee note, he will have 5 rupee note. Okay, something like that. But it was not so simple because they need to issue another certificate, write his name properly on this certificate, and everything was very much tedious, थोड़ा difficult था और time consuming था. Okay, so to avoid this, the dematerialization was started. What do you mean by dematerialization? The certificate was in a material form, physical form. Okay, so that physical certificate was converted into electronic form in the uh, and that certificate was stored with the custodian, kind of a depository system which we are talking about. So it was certificate was stored with the depository system, and depository system used to maintain the records, and that online how much shares which person is having, he like we get nowadays. Okay, itna shares hai. I'll just get a number on my cell phone. Okay, for Infosys you have 10 shares. So where those 10 shares are there, it is there with the depository system. Okay, it is something like in my bank account, some maybe 10,000 rupees is there. So I don't have that cash. I have 10,000 rupees in my bank account. So my bank is holding that 10,000 rupees. And who is safeguarding those 10,000 rupees? RBI. RBI is safeguarding that my 10,000 rupees, but bank is holding it. Okay, and whenever I go to bank, I can withdraw my 10,000 rupees. Okay, as cash. But here it doesn't happen. We generally don't materialize it again. We use a transaction, this is online transaction. We transfer money. So we transfer shares also, buy and sell shares also. Okay, like that it is done. I'll just read this. A depository is an organization which holds securities like shares, debentures, bonds, government securities, mutual fund units, etc., of investors in electronic form at the request of the investors through a registered depository participant. Okay, so a depository, okay, wherein these securities will be held, shares, debentures, bonds, etc. This depository will be held in electronic form. Whose securities? Investor securities through a registered depository participant. And who is a depository participant? This is a company or a broker who is registered with NSE and BSE. Okay, National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange, or anyone. So anyone, he will be registered as a depository participant. That means this person is will be acting as a broker. Okay, and through only him we can trade in the stock market. Okay, like we cannot open up a account with RBI. We cannot open up a account in depository system. Okay, or with a depository. Okay, we can open up an account with depository participant, like a bank. So this depository participant will be your broker. You can have Kotak Securities. He will be that will be acting as a depository participant. ICICI Securities, Zerodha, Carby. Okay, all these are the depository participants. So these people, using these people, your securities will be held with the depositories. And like we have RBI for managing of all the banks, we have two depository systems in India. I have not mentioned. Okay, we have two depository systems in India that are CDSL and NSDL. Okay, they are CDSL and NSDL. Only two depositories. Okay, this stands for Central Depository Securities Limited and National Securities Depository Limited. Okay, again, full form is not important, but ये दो depositories है. Both work of both the depositories exactly same. Okay, some of the depository participant will open up an account in CDSL. Some of the depository participant will open up account in NSDL. Okay, the work is exactly same. Like I have account in Kotak Securities, so my Kotak Securities have opened up an account in NSDL. So I get mail from NSDL. Okay, not about trading or anything, just formal happy Diwali wala, it's a message. That means I just NSDL wants to tell me that you have account with me. Okay, okay, the basic trading and everything, all those mails is from Kotak Securities itself. Okay, it's just that Kotak has opened up from account in NSDL, so they will be handling all my shares. keeping safeguarding all my shares. And Kotak will only do help me in the trading process, buying and selling of the securities, taking money from me, or depositing money in my bank account when I get the dividend, or when I sell the shares, I get money. So that money will be handled by Kotak Securities, and they will be putting that money into my bank account. So all this thing, my depository participant or that Kotak Securities will be doing. Okay, this NSDL and CDSL will only safeguard my shares. They will only increase they will maintain an account in which they will be debiting any shares if I sell those shares. They will be crediting some shares. They will be adding some shares if I buy those shares. Only वो इतना ही काम करेंगे NSDL और CDSL. So ये है depository system. Okay, so why this depository system was, okay, this I've already explained. Okay, why this depository system was initiated? It was started in 1996. 1996. So there was delay in transfer of securities, as there was a physical form of securities. बहुत delay होता था वहाँ से यहाँ तक पहुँचने को. If suppose one person is there in Kolkata, he is going to Kolkata Stock Exchange, and one person is sitting in maybe in Atheni. Okay, then that person will go to nearest stock exchange. Then he will give the share certificate to broker to sell the shares, and then broker will go to that regional stock exchange room, and then he will sell. Another broker will buy that shares. That broker will send it to that person who wants the shares. If he is in the another city, then that will take time, and then the entire process used to take around 3 to 6 months for transferring of shares. Okay, if the people are there in two different cities. So there was too much delay. Now it takes just T plus 2 days. Okay, T is the trading day, 2 is the process. Additional 2 working days are the processing days. So if I sell my share or buy my share today as on Wednesday, then I'll get the shares in my account on Friday itself. Okay, so T is today, that is Wednesday, plus 2, Thursday and Friday. So Friday ko I'll get the shares in my account exactly. Okay, ठीक है. So return of share certificate as bad deliveries. ठीक है. What do you say? Forfeiture of that, or forfeiting of those securities. नकली securities print किया, या फिर उसको return delay हो गया, या फिर नहीं मिला securities, misplace हो गया, damage हो गया securities, physical form में था, so गुम गया या damage हो गया या फट गया. Okay, and SA में duplicate certificate you need to apply, and you will get that certificate late. So वो सब infrastructure भी नहीं था, banking and postal segments का ये सब. So there was many problems. So this was introduced. The depository system was introduced. And yeah, again I have told this multi-depository system hai. We have 2 depositories, NSDL and CDSL. Okay, and this depository work through depository participant. Okay, Kotak Securities, Karvi, ये सब है. And they will open account in depository system and use the depository services on behalf of client. And dematerialization hai. Dematerialization, also I have told you, it is the conversion of physical share certificate into electronic form. Okay, dematerialization. There is one more term which is called as rematerialization. Okay, rematerialization. Materialization, correct. Rematerialization is if you want your electronic form shares into physical form. So rematerialization भी होता है. Okay, so this is done by again depository participant. यही काम करते हैं. And if you have किसी के पास है, मतलब किसी के grandfather ने कुछ shares लिया है, and they have physical form, because before 1991 every share was in physical form. So if they have bought shares during that time and they have just kept it in their locker, so that physical form certificate are still there with few people. So they can be converted into electronic form in dematerialization by just opening up an account in a depository participant. कोई broker के पास जाके account open करके you can just convert that physical form of shares into electronic form. उल्टा भी कर सकते हैं, from electronic form also you can convert it into physical form for any for any purpose. If you want to keep it as a collateral, गिरवी रखना है बैंक के पास. Okay, so for certain kind of thing you can also do that. This again depository participant will do it, and this, because of this, fungibility was there. Fungibility is very simple. Fungibility is what, initially, because of that physical form of share certificate, everything was written on that certificate and it was striked out. Everything was written, name of this person, the number of shares company, फिर एक strike करके 5 लिख दिया. फिर suppose he is buying, next time he is selling this 5 shares, a total 5 shares to some another person, then that share certificate, his name is written. Okay, so his name will be striked out, and a folio number, then name of that person will be written. Okay, so कैसे कैसे ट्रांसफर हो रहा है, it was very difficult. Okay, फिर ये पूरा columns भर गया, then new certificate should be issued and it will be stapled to it. Okay, something like that was there. So there was no fungibility. Okay, easily transfer नहीं होता. Nowadays, if I have 100 shares, okay, I'm selling those 100 shares. I don't have any certificate, so it is like I'm just transferring the amount. Okay, जैसे पैसे transfer कर रहे हैं 100 rupees. Which 100 rupees? I don't know. It's just 100 rupees. The value is 100 rupees. So I'm just using those 100 rupees to transfer anywhere. Okay, so similar. It is like what do you say? If you have a DD of 10,000, okay, if I have got a DD from somewhere, and if I want to give 10,000 to a person, so I cannot give DD to him because that DD is in my name. I need to deposit that DD in bank account, and then that 10,000 will be getting reflected in my bank, and only then I can transfer. Okay, or I can cash the DD and give 10,000 to that person. I cannot simply give away the DD because it is in my name. Okay, so but if I have 10,000 cash, I can easily give him because that cash doesn't have any name or something. Okay, so it has a fungibility. I can easily transfer. Okay, so this is what was received after this dematerialization. Okay, then finally free transferability of shares. And registered owner and beneficial owner. Registered owner is the depository participant. Okay, and beneficial owner is the client. Okay, I am the beneficial owner, and my depository participant, that Kotak Securities, is the registered owner. Okay, of those shares. So this was there. Okay, till now any doubts? Depository system related. Okay, depository system क्या था, कैसे बना, why it was made, what are the features? Shall I move forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Vaishnavi. Chalo. This you listen very carefully. This is a sure shot. This actually is the sure shot question in exam. Okay. This how the trading and settlement happens. You are hearing a T plus 2 days settlement. How this happen and what happens in these 2 days. Trading in those additional 2 days, what happens is clearing and settlement. How this happens, that we are going to study. Okay, so this depository system helps in 3 activities. Trading is just putting an order and its execution. I'm putting buy order. I want to buy 10 shares of Tata Steel. I'm putting an order. Okay, at a rate of maybe 300 rupees. 300 rupees में 10 shares buy करना है. So I have put 3,000 in my Kotak Securities account to buy those shares. Okay, 3,000 odd something plus brokerage charges. So 3,000 maybe 3,100 rupees I have put in my Kotak Securities account, and I have placed an order of 10 shares at a rate of 300 rupees to buy Tata Securities, Tata Steel. Then after this price matches, this 300 rupees matches with any of the selling party from the other side, then the execution will happen. Okay, the trading match ho jayega, then the execution will happen. This is what trading is done. Once the execution happens, then I will get the shares, okay, after 2 days in my account. Okay, but before that itself I can sell the shares also. Okay, in within that day itself, which is called as the intraday trading, or tomorrow or day after tomorrow, or any before that 2 days also, or after those 2 days also, anytime I can sell the shares just after the execution. Okay, what is the time now? 10:43. So 10:43 ko suppose I am putting an order, 10:44 ko if it is approved, okay, so 10:45, 10:45 it is approved, and then just on 10:45 I can sell the shares again. Okay, there is no harm in that. Just after the execution, I'll put some another number 305 may I'll just sell the shares also. Okay, just after execution. So this is what trading is there. Okay, if buying or selling, this shares are not exactly getting transferred here. Okay, like if you remember in NEFT transaction, I have told you, if I'm transferring some money to a person, okay, 10,000 rupees मैं उसको transfer किया, that person is transferring money to another person, that another person is transferring that money. So many transactions are happening in a day. So at the end of the day, netting will be done. That means तुमको याद रहना चाहिए. Okay, there will be two entities. Okay, there are many people here. Okay, there are many people who want to transfer some amount. So this person is transferring some amount to this person is transferring this amount to someone, this person is transferring this amount to someone. But all these people belong to only these two entities. So at the end of the day, these two entities will check into their account. Okay, exactly who needs to transfer amount. First has transferred to second, or second has to transfer to first. Only they'll check this and they'll do a netting. Okay, so this is what happens in the share market also. When I'm buying Tata Steel, then someone else is buying Tata Steel, someone another one is selling. So everything is happening. But at the end of the day, they will check which broker needs to get which shares on behalf of the client, and which broker needs to get which amount of shares. Okay, and which broker needs to pay to which brokers. Like that, they will be doing. Okay, that doesn't happen in trading. That will happen in clearing. Okay, determination of obligation in terms of funds and securities. Who has the right to get the certain shares? Who has the right to get certain funds? All those things will happen in clearing. And in settlement, finally, the person who have bought the shares, he will get the shares after 2 days in his account. Person who have sold the shares, he will get money in his account at the end of the 2 days. That will happen in settlement. Okay, so now we'll go step by step how this happens. Okay, this is the last slide. Okay, इसके बाद thank you है. So listen carefully. ठीक है, day 1, 10:46 को 2nd December Wednesday, I am placing an order to buy 10 shares of Tata Motors. Okay, at the end of the day, NSE, National Stock Exchange, will instruct this person, NSCCL. This is the clearing corporation. Okay, National Securities Clearing Corporation Limited. Okay, जो भी इसका full form है. This is the clearing corporation. This person will take care and it will liaise with everyone. It will get connected with everyone, and it will try to clear everything. That means the person who have bought the shares, the person who have sold the shares, person who is liable to get money, person who is liable to give money, and person who is entitled to get money. जो भी जिसको भी पैसा मिलना है, shares मिलना है, everything, he will take the headache of clearing this. Okay, so at the end of the day, NSE will only give one instruction, first instruction. That first instruction is person A has bought something, person B has sold some shares, person B is entitled to get money, person A needs to pay money as he has bought the shares. ठीक है, ये एक ही इन्फॉर्मेशन देगा, किसने खरीदा है, किसने बेचा है, किसको पैसा मिलना है, किसको पैसा देना है. This NSE will instruct to this person. Then this NSCCL will ask this custodians and clearing members. Custodians कौन है? They will be keeping safe your shares. Okay, जैसे custodian mutual fund में था, similarly we have custodian हियर. ओके, वो जो डिपॉजिटरी सिस्टम का NSDL CDSL है वो इधर है, डिपॉजिटरीज. Okay, so they will be holding the shares with custodian. Okay, so ये लोग शेयर संभाल रहे हैं, बट बेसिकली इसके पास संभाल रहे हैं. Then clearing bank is there. This bank will take care of all the financial transactions. पैसा आ रहा है जा रहा है, he will take care. This will take care, shares आ रहे हैं जा रहे हैं. ये he is taking care of both the things. Okay, and he is taking care of the entire process. Okay, so he is taking care of the entire process. Depositories are taking care of shares incoming and outgoing. Clearing bank is taking care of funds incoming and outgoing, money incoming and outgoing. And this person is giving just keeping safeguarding the shares, keeping track of shares, and informing the clearing bank and depositories to do some activities. Okay. So first instruction is given by NSE. किसने खरीदा किसने बेचा? That the NSE will tell to NSCCL. Then NSCCL will inform the custodian whether the person who have sold the shares, whether he had the shares or not. मतलब मेरे पास suppose 5 shares था Infosys का, and if I have sold 10 shares, okay, I'll tell you how that can be done. ठीक है, मेरे पास 5 ही शेयर था Infosys का, but I have sold 10 shares. Okay, so but before the market ends, I need to buy those 5 shares also. Otherwise, it will go for auctioning. Okay, suppose so ye custodian will just check whether I had those shares or not. Okay, if I had those shares, it will again inform back to NSCCL कि सब बराबर है, we can proceed further. Okay, so then the NSCCL will give the instructions for the funds and securities. ठीक है, किसके अकाउंट में फंड्स डालना है, किसके अकाउंट में सिक्योरिटीज डालना है. Okay, so custodians को. Then custodian will inform clearing bank for paying of this क्या बोलते हैं funds. Okay, pay in time. किसको पैसा देना है, that will be informed to the clearing bank. And किसको shares देना है, this will be informed to the depositories. Okay, so 4th and 5th done. So depositories received कि किसको shares देना है. Then that person will what do you say? It will make available the securities. Okay, make available from the depositories will contact depository participant. जैसे NSDL will contact Kotak Securities. ठीक है, मेरे को shares दो अभी, तुमने सेल किया है ना, मेरे को shares चाहिए डिलीवर करने के लिए. So that depository participant will give shares to depositories and they will keep the shares ready and inform NSCCL कि shares ready है. Then that clearing bank at the 7th number. Clearing bank will ask the bank which is connected to it that give us money, as you have sold the shares, you must have got money from that client. So give us the money. It will also ask the depository participant itself, but there will be a certain bank which will be liaising. So Kotak Securities को ही basically दोनों पूछ रहे हैं. Kotak Securities को he is asking the shares, he is asking money. So he will ask money from another broker, Kotak भी हो सकता है, कोई भी हो सकता है. So he will be asking money from them that I need to arrange money in order to give to the person who has sold the shares. ठीक है, तो अभी those who have, the person who has bought the shares, he will make the shares ready for that person. The person who have sold the shares, he will arrange cash for him. So once the cash is arranged, he will inform this person. Okay, so once the shares and cash both are pay, सिर्फ अभी pay in हो रहा है. That means the person who have bought the securities, he is getting the securities. The person who has sold the security, he is getting the money. Okay, so next ये आ गया instructions. Then 8th and 9th is the person who has sold the securities. Okay, so securities from his account will be debited. The person who has bought the shares, the money from his account will be debited in 8th and 9th. ठीक है, फर्स्ट जो 6th and 7th में क्या हो रहा है, जो इन करना है, जो किसको शेयर्स देना है और किसको पैसा देना है, दैट इज हैपनिंग इन 6th and 7th. 8th and 9th में किसको किसने शेयर्स दिया है एंड किसने पैसा दिया है, दैट इज हैपनिंग. Okay, pay in is happening and pay out is happening here. Then finally, after 8th and 9th, this depositories will give an instruction that the debit and credit of the shares have happened in the customer's account, and he will inform that debit and credit has happened in the what do you say, with respect to money. Okay, so after this, the custodian will make changes in their account statement that this person, जो person A है, who has bought the shares, इसके account में I'll credit the shares. The person B who has sold the shares, in his account I will debit the shares. I'll reduce the shares. Custodian finally करता है. So this everything takes place and it requires 2 days. ठीक है, चलो. एनी डाउट्स इसमें? अच्छा, इफ यू आर गेटिंग कंफ्यूज्ड, I can just show you. First process, it is there in the notes point wise. Okay, first step, what is happening from NS. First step, what is happening? Okay, I've written in the first point. Second step, what is happening? Okay, I've written in the second, and it is affirming back. So two-way arrow. And third, it is a download of obligation of pay-in advice of funds and securities. Okay, pay-in. Who is entitled to get money? Who is entitled to get shares? So that is there in the third one. Then instructions to clearing bank to make funds available. Okay, that is the fourth one. Funds available either. Then fifth one, instruction depositories to make securities available in paying time. That is the fifth one. Then similarly, sixth kya hai, seventh kya hai, everything here. Finally, clearing bank informs custodian. ये finally ये inform कर देता है custodian. Okay, so this is quite important and interesting, and you have come to know what happens in T+2 days. Exactly. एक मिनट से सुन रहे हैं. So this is what is there in today's lecture. Okay. So any confusion or anything you have written here? Just if you want to go through, just go through this. Yeah, it's just a step-by-step process. Okay, first NSE informs this person. This person checks with this person whether the share is there in his account, whether he can sell the shares or not. Okay, whether the person who have bought the shares, he has money or not, and he affirms back. Then he gives the instruction, ठीक है, you start the process of settlement. Then this person informs both clearing bank and depositories that make the funds available. Make the funds available, make the securities available. Then after making them available, after making securities available, they instruct this person. We have the securities to give it to the buyer. This person will tell we have the funds to give it to the seller. Okay, then that exchange will happen. Then this person will inform, okay, we that is done. Now take the securities and give it to the buyer. Take the funds and give it to the seller. पैसा लो और जिसने बेचा है उसको दे दो. पैसा सिक्योरिटीज लो और जिसने खरीदा है उसको दे दो. And after that happens, they will inform the custodians that we have delivered the securities perfectly. You can adjust in your account. This person will tell, clearing bank will tell, we have delivered the funds to the seller, and you can adjust in your account. Okay, so custodian will what do you say, adjust in his account. Securities को ऊपर नीचे, credit debit he will do, and that's it. So, any comments? Okay, I'll share the notes very soon. There are only two things remaining in this. Okay, we have done with this. This actually two more lecture दिखते हैं. Two more या one more. Okay, this you don't have anything in this. Just types and functions. 15 minutes cut. Factoring and forfeiting, and this I can go on. I can take 1 hour for this securitization. Okay, one of my favorite topic. So maybe one more lecture or two more lecture I'll be completing. Then I'll share you the notes. Okay. Any doubts in today's lecture? Yeah. Yes, we have done. Problems, features, this. Yeah. Should I close the session? Vaishnavi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.